What's going on, lads and lasses? So, Ross Wilson has finally been appointed as the sporting director of Newcastle United. A couple of days ago, I brought the announcement to you guys, and now it is official. He is the new sporting director of Newcastle United. So, with that being said, let's deep dive into three players that I think, Ross Wilson will be targeting and looking to bring to Newcastle United in the January window or in the summer window. So to start off the list, I am going to go with, of course, Murillo of Nottingham Forest. This one's kind of a given. Look at what he's done at Forest. Of course, he was an appointment of Ross Wilson as well, bringing him in from Corinthians. And in his first season at Forest, Murillo has done some pretty good stuff. The 23-24 season was when he first joined them from Corinthians in the Brazilian League. He played 4 games in the FA Cup, got 32 games in the Premier League, he got 2 assists, and he did some really good stuff for Nottingham Forest. And then last season, he got 3 games in the FA Cup, 36 games in the league, 2 goals. But it's the defensive side of things. He made Nottingham Forest a very solid team in defence, along with other players obviously in the back line for Forest. And I really like, what Murillo does for Forest. I really do like, his style of play, and he's a really good player. He can play at the left-back position as well, even though he's only played there once. So he is a bit of a versatile player, and that's something that ticks the box for, what Eddie Howe looks for in a player. But that's just one name of a few that I think, Ross Wilson will be targeting. Obviously, we'll be looking at some of the lads that are at Forest, his old kicking ground, and he will be, possibly trying to see if he can get a few of them to come to Newcastle United, and one of them in particular is, of course, our old boy Elliot Anderson, who, of course, should have never left Newcastle United. We never wanted him to leave, and were forced for the move because of PSR. We were forced into making the move happen, and Elliot Anderson never wanted to leave. We never wanted to get rid of him, and we've heard recently, as of only about a month ago, even maybe this month, we've heard Eddie talk about how he would love to see Elliot Anderson come back to Newcastle United. So maybe this might be one that could be a major possibility in happening. And looking at what he's done, literally, Elliot Anderson's went to Nottingham Forest and he has absolutely flourished. He has just become this absolutely sensational player that we knew he was capable of. Now, that's a lot of work and a lot of effort over the years, from being a very young lad in Newcastle's youth academy, working right the way through. And it's sad to see, that Nottingham Forest are reaping the rewards of all the hard work that's been done on Elliot Anderson over the years, and all the hard work Elliot Anderson's put in over the years from being a very young Ben in the academy. And now, Nottingham Forest are reaping the rewards of that, and it would be nice to see, us bring Elliot Anderson back home, because he deserves to come back to Newcastle United. He deserves to be playing in the black and white. He should have never left Newcastle United, and like I've said, we were forced our hand on it, the same as the Yakuba Minter deal. And then, if we had have just sold somebody of a bigger value back then, like we sold Isak in the window just gone, then we would have been able to keep Elliot Anderson, we would have been able to keep Yakuba Minter, and we are sadly having to see Elliot Anderson do so well at Nottingham Forest, and he should be doing what he's doing at Forest at Newcastle United. And I've got to somewhat say, however, if he did stay, would he have progressed into the player that he is at Nottingham Forest? I don't quite know if he would have got the minutes ahead of the likes of Sandro Tonali, Bruno and Joe Linton. I think he might have been in a similar mould to what we've seen with, Lewis Miley, where He's been at the moment unable to really push past that trio in the midfield. And obviously, Lewis Miley's been injured, so that's not a fair assessment in a way, because if he was fit, then maybe he might have pushed past. But I think Elliot Anderson moving away from Newcastle United has helped him, but it's also been a sad thing to see, him have to leave Newcastle United because of the whole PSR situation that we know for a fact, should not be in the game. These rules should not be in the game. They are illegal rules, and they should not be enforced in the game. But for me, Elliot Anderson is a definite one that I think Ross Wilson will be trying his utmost to bring to Newcastle United and bring them back home to Tyneside. And moving on to, of course, the last person on the list. It's only a short list, just a little few players that I think, Ross Wilson will be targeting. And the last one on the list, I think, will be Samu of Porto. That lad is absolutely fantastic. Look at what he's doing in the Portuguese league. Last season, he scored 19 goals in 30 appearances in the Portuguese league. He scored 6 in 9 appearances in the Europa League last season as well for Porto. And I think this lad is going places. I think he's got a lot of potential. Out of 105 games as a forward, he has scored 56 goals and assisted 3 times. I mean, that is some major numbers right there for a very young lad, only 21 years old. And looking at his numbers just at Porto, 53 games, 32 goals and 3 assists. I mean, that is some sensational numbers. I would love to see we'll go in for Samu of Porto. I don't know how much it would cost, because I'm sure Porto aren't going to want to sell him for cheap. But I'd think at the utmost it would be, 60 to 70 million, maybe 80 million tops for somebody like Samu from Porto, and I think it would be well and truly worth it. Yes, we've got Johan Wissa. Yes, we've got Nick Valdemar, who we've just bought in this window, and we haven't seen Wissa play yet. But, I mean, Wissa's on the older side, so he's not going to be here for a long, long time. So looking at bringing somebody in that can play in a similar sort of mould to that type of player, because we all know Nick Valdemar isn't that kind of player. He isn't the kind of player that can, get him behind the lines. He's not that quick, pacey player. He's more of a technically gifted player. He drops back into that false 9 position. He can link up the play with the players, and he's that type of player more than, your typical striker where you can just smash the ball over the top, sort of like what we're seeing with Isak, where we were able to just get that ball in behind. He would run onto it, get the goals, and that's what Johan Wissa's going to be. But we need to have somebody else in there as well who can do that, and Willisula is that sort of player, but he's still very young as well. So he's going to have to, develop his game, and he is developing his game from what we've seen. He's doing really well. Looking at the way he's played so far this season, Willisula has come on leaps and bounds compared to the previous season, that he's played for us so far. But, I mean, Samu would be a really good one. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And what do you think of the appointment of Ross Wilson in Newcastle United? I think it's a really good appointment. I think he will do some really good stuff, and let's see, who he does actually go for in the window. These are just, a few players that I think he might possibly be looking at to come to Newcastle United. But at the end of the day, we'll never know his true transfer targets until, of course, we'll get to the January transfer window and then the summer transfer window after that, and see, who Newcastle is actually being linked with. And then we've got Suds as well in there in the background, the new lad who is going to be doing analytic data, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of that Moneyball style approach to the transfer markets as well. And there's plenty more to come on Newcastle United, so keep your eyes on the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Turn on the bell for all notifications so you never miss when I upload the video. Make sure that you get on once the video is uploaded, because the engagement straight away from the off of the video, of course, would really help to support the channel to grow. And I'll see you all in the next one. However, lads.